And we're going to transition into open mic session with Kiko Stocks, Shido, and we have Nick Coriano in the house for the moment. And we're going to chop up all things OTC. You have one chance to come up and talk about something, and we're going to rotate through so everybody has that same opportunity. So by all means, make sure you have some due diligence in hand and tell us why we should be looking at the stock you're talking about.
Awesome. Well, get your requests in. Let's go for it. I'm really excited to hear about what some of the people are looking at. Obviously, for me, today has been a decent day. Was able to pick up the Fisker when that tweet came out, FSRN, which was great. I've been in this PTCO, which seems to be they put out an 8K, and that one's kind of an old name in the space of things that I guess insiders like to move. And then
I hope you got some PLPL, because Plandai, I know the CEO, or I knew the CEO, used to handle their marketing stuff back in the day, and I was excited to see them move.
Yeah, well, there's plenty available, I think, on that PL. Yeah, there's plenty to go around.
A few.
But it'd be interesting to see if they get moving. What else?
They only have $44 billion outstanding. What are you talking about?
There's a lot of loving to give, baby. A lot of loving.
8 billion in the held at DTC.
A lot of loving. And
Yes,
then Wanderports as well has been very, very nice. What a great trade over the last couple weeks. But obviously we're here to hear your ideas. That's kind of where I'm at with things. So anything that's on your mind, anything else you want to talk about or questions about the OTC? I mean, Lord knows I know a bit. I know Shido does. There's Sonny down there who's been around forever. Nick, by all means, get after it. So get a request in. Let's get into it.
And for those that don't know, like after we're done with this open mic session, Nick is hosting a roundtable CEO chat in another space. And after we're done with this, I want to encourage everybody to check it out. It's going to be the format is quite considerably different, and I'm excited to see what he has to say about things.
For sure. Here's a request come in. Stock awareness. You ready?
All right, stock awareness. What's going on, man?
What's going on, guys?
Not much. How are things?
Good. I had a question first for Shito. Did you ever find out anything about that eyewall or whatever that you were looking into?
You mean TKVR?
Oh, the other one. Yeah, the advertising or media thing. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. No, I didn't. I mean, I called their office in New York, but and said I wanna talk to somebody, but that is in charge of investors. But they just sent me to a voicemail. So
okay.
Somehow they went dark for now.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, wanted to reiterate. I think we had these on the call last week. There was no activity. Starting to notice some activity on NBND, Net Brands. They're doing all their products they used to sell to TJ Maxx. They're the ones that sold the cookies and the olive oils and all that stuff to TJ Maxx. And apparently they ran into a supply chain problem with everything that's going on. So if you notice, they did a tweet and then they did a press release today about moving up to the QB. Apparently got they're pivoting to something else, so there's starting to be a little activity there. If you'll notice, the float is really low. I think you looked at this last time and said, or actually OTC, you looked at it and you said, "Wow, that thing can move." So that it has made a move off the 10 where we talked about it last time. So be aware. Spreads a lot right this minute, but it was starting to do a little bit. And then Warp Speed also, WRPT, started a little bit of action. It was also a non-mover, also a seriously low float. So both of those we put on the radar. Has anybody else found anything else about ONEI, the deal with the Microsoft company?
No.
No, I mean, I looked at it and I'm not sure. Is there anything else to find out?
Well, I thought a few days ago there was another article on Google about something about them and Microsoft again. What's weird is the fact that it doesn't trade much at all, but it's just hanging around that, 80 cent area. But with news about Microsoft, it's just confusing why this thing is not going crazy.
They don't have the right representation, man.
Apparently. I mean, but there's been 3 articles. You would think that the press pickup would have picked up on it somehow, but apparently not yet.
Well, what's the ticker?
ONEI. That was the one that it went dark because the SEC thought they were lying. If you look at the chart, but then Microsoft walked in the building with them, and it got relisted and said,
Yeah, they're using Access Wire. Yeah,
yeah.
Not getting into stupid techie stuff on PR, but they're using a wire service that doesn't even hit all the ticker tapes when they're supposed to.
Right.
There may be a few, but Access Wire, and I know the guys behind it. No offense to them because they're friends of mine. I know them, but Access Wire, you're going to be left wanting with the quality distribution you're going to get from Globe at the lowest and Business Wire and PR Newswire at the best.
What would you say is the best? What'd you say is the best one that they should use?
Well, PR Newswire and Business Wire, they cost too freaking much money.
Right.
But their distribution is excellent. You hit every ticker tape. You hit iPhone. You'll be able to pick it up on all the trading platforms. And not every company, Globe, you can get picked up on all the trading platforms. But when you go to Access Wire or any of the resellers beyond that, you'll find that some of the stuff just doesn't get hit. They'll hit the Associated Press, they'll hit Comtext, but they will miss out on a lot of the other additional platforms. And that's where traders are. I mean, if you're on Thinkorswim and you don't have a press release directly, dropping into that news section the moment it goes out, you're behind the ball.
Who can you look up and see who NBND is using? Because I noticed theirs wasn't widespread this morning. Are they using Newswire too?
What's the ticker?
NBND, Net Brands. They put that QB release out this morning. I didn't know if you had access to it quick to see where it went out on.
They went out Globe.
So that's the one.
And it was on 25th. Well, there's different types of distribution, and then there's a few things that keep you from getting picked up. I used to sell press releases. I was the largest reseller of PR Newswires for 5-6 years. And if you're not structuring your press release right, you're not going to get picked up very well. If your headline is too wordy and not done right, it affects your pickup. And also there's different levels of distribution. I mean, you can get, city or state distribution, you can get national, or you can go worldwide distribution. There's all kinds of stuff that comes into play, and all of it changes the price of the release.
Gotcha.
And companies, some of them can't afford the full length of distribution they need. And I'm not going to go into nerdy detail about it, but they're out of New York, so they could have done New York distribution and national distribution and got really good pickup. But their Net Brands announces it filed its application to uplist to OTC QB venture market. If you copy that headline and put it in a search with quotations on both sides, you should get a total number of places on the internet that exact headline showed up. I don't know why I'm doing this. Shit I used to do every day.
All right. Sonny, why don't you go ahead and tell us about some what you're working on?
Hey guys, let me step outside.
You at dinner?
Yeah, about to, man. I just got kids, man.
Oh, I understand fully. I have 5. Go ahead.
So, yeah, what's up, guys? I was just dropping by, talk about news from BYRG this morning, and so BYRG, I've come on here and talked about it a couple times. Real great news this morning from them, adding on another member to their team, doctor out of Wyoming, Dr. Michael Curran. He's being added to deal with all the environmental sustainability ESG type hurdles that BYRG will encounter as they head into development and eventual production. But I just want to highlight, the growth that BYRG has gone through this year, and the credibility of these people that are joining. These are, Dr. Michael Curran, for example, a guy who joined today. I've never seen him on another OTC company before. These are, to see this level of expertise come down the OTC. It's a great sign. It's very bullish. Speaks to the legitimacy of what BYRG has going on. This year they started out with pretty much just Dave, just the CEO, and now he's got a pretty big team to build around him, similar to that of SDRC. A very impressive team of doctors and experts. When Justin Mystikwe finishes his PhD, which he's not that far away from, BYRG will have then 2 doctors on their executive team, one for environment and one for geology. So there's a lot of impressive stuff going on there, and that's all as they head into a record season of development. And the stock is staying very cheap only because of that super old seller that is present, that has nothing to do with the company currently, or doesn't even probably have any idea what's going on, period. So it's a tremendous opportunity to take advantage of a seller that normally wouldn't be there on such updates. Sorry, I got somebody driving by.
Driving or mowing?
It sounds like a tractor or something.
Yeah, dirt
It's a
bike.
Okay.
Yeah, man. I got all these kids in the neighborhood ride their dirt bikes around. But yeah, check out that news this morning from BYRG. It's really impressive. You don't see many people come down the OTC like that unless it's something really legit going on. And then, BRGC guys, they our lithium project out of Arizona, just prime location. If any of y'all have heard about that multi-billion-dollar LG factory that's being put up outside of Phoenix, BRGC's lithium mine is about 50 miles away from that. And that's just one of several multi-billion-dollar lithium battery factories being built within an hour of where BRGC's lithium project is. They just released news yesterday, James and Graphia, so his second report on the lithium deposit, the Midnight Owl. Really impressive report. Once again, something that you would see on a big board mining company, for example, stuff you don't see in the OTC. This is the same geologist that is on BRGC that was a part of LAC, so the big board lithium company that everybody knows, LAC. James and Graphia was part of basically distinguishing and further enhancing the deposit that LAC works on currently, which is a world-class lithium deposit. James is a big part actually that project becoming what it is now. And that same guy is on BRGC. Released his second report yesterday, 24 pages, conclusion of a phase 1 exploration program. But what's really exciting about the report in particular is the pegmatite. Okay, guys, pegmatite is the hard rock that contains your lithium. Okay, typically it contains a 7 to 8%, which is why it's so attractive and why these companies are chasing after it. It's hard rock, and it's very high grade. It's not what you're accustomed to with the environmental problems, the pools, the sitting pools you see on TV, and people complain about it's ruining the environment. This is a different type of lithium mining. But a lot to be excited about there, guys. So back to the pegmatite. He basically, if you read the report, it's a 200-foot thick pegmatite strike, which is incredible. He made comparisons to Patriot Metals, which you guys can look up, PMET, PMET. He used that as the comparable deposit to what BRGC has. And for those that who research PMET, you'll see that is another stock company and deposit that has gained a lot of attention. The stock ran from pennies all the way up to, I believe, $10, $11.
Their market cap's like
656
million.
What's that?
The market cap's only 656 million.
Oh, PMET?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've come down quite a bit, man. They've come down quite a bit, like all lithium, stocks have. But when they were at their peak, they were, I want to say they were well over $1 billion. But, that's kind of what we're looking for long term out of BRGC. I think they have a very similar deposit to what PMET has in Canada. But the difference is PMET, you got to fly a fucking helicopter to get to it. So I see a lot of strong promise with that, right? A very similar deposit, very similar grade, but with superior location. Okay, superior location right outside of Phoenix, Arizona. And BRGC has the area locked down tight. They have 5,000 acres they own out there, guys. I mean, it's pretty damn impressive for an OTC company. I like to make comparisons to AMLI too with them. AMLI is another lithium company that went from all the way from OTC all the way
This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.
onto big boards. They accomplished that impossible feat. And I see a lot of similarities to BRGC. So, it's coming off 200 it's 200-day support, so it's looking pretty cheap, all the way down from 69 cents. And these are the times that nobody wants to look at them, but it's the time everybody should be looking at them. And when BRGC goes back up to $1, they'll be like, "Ah, damn! Why didn't I look at it at 30 cents?" So it's just one of those opportunities. You pull up the chart, look at the 200 MA. BRGC has loved to stick to that long term, and once again, guys, the long term investment. But I see a lot of promise with both of these. BYRG, BRGC, and everything else we got going on. So, any questions? Feel free as always. I know a few of y'all invest in these, but we just keep our heads down. We keep making progress. So, much.
Appreciate your coming on and keeping us updated for sure. Always nice to hear from you.
Yeah, guys, anytime. Thanks for having me.
Well, let's get some.
Thanks very much, Alex.
Get some more requests in. I'm really there are some exciting moves happening around here, but I always love to hear about new and different stuff. As much as I want to believe that I've seen everything, it's not true. I mean, if you ask me, I'm going to say yes, I know everything, but I know deep down it's not true. And so, it's a bit of a facade, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? So I'd love to hear from someone about some other things, because there is a lot going on. And I remain very hopeful. Thank you, JC. That's what I'm trying to say. But I do remain very hopeful that we start seeing more of that critical mass in terms of buying, and I know some things are changing. I think there's still some great opportunities out there. We just gotta keep pushing that, and one of these days we'll have the renaissance. I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to that for sure. What about you, Shido? Anything on your mind?
I was waiting for others to come up with something. I would mention I like this TAER, which showed a little bit of activity lately. This is the thing. I mean, you know the stock, right?
Which one?
TAER. I think
the corn boys.
Yeah, they do all
corn
kind
fed.
of trading sugar, wheat, corn, whatever, and they are supposed to have like big business going on, but for some reason they never talk to the market, like never. I have no idea why, but and it was really dead, the stock, and in the last few days somebody was starting to buy, and it's for a few days now. So who knows? Maybe something is coming. Maybe somebody wants to follow it. It's a great setup. I mean, it's below 4 million DTC at 10 cents now. It came up a little bit lately, as I said, but it's one on my list that if they come out and confirm some of these bigger contracts that they supposedly have, then this could make a wild move, I think.
All right, definitely watching that.
Yeah, just to watch. I mean, it's not something you go out and just hit tomorrow at the open, but it's an interesting one, I think, if they ever start to talk.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember it from a while back, and
yeah, it had one or two good moves in the past. I think it went to 40 cents once on not much volume. I mean, it's thin, obviously. Yeah, to 40 cents it went on a couple 100,000 shares. So yeah, we will see.
For sure. Other stuff on the move today. I gotta come out. I gotta say this, okay? And people didn't like it the other day when I said toner was a bag. Okay, people were really bothered by that, and dare I say, might have even gotten triggered when I said toner was a bag. But I've learned a lot over the last few years, especially during COVID, about what is and what isn't a bag. Like, I mean, they blew me away. But that's one that, I think I can hang my hat on. You know what I mean? Like, I'm ready to hang my hat. I'm ready to stand on
officially label it.
Standing on business to say that toner is a bag. And if anyone would like to tell me otherwise, by all means, but I think we need as a community, we need to reach that place. That's what I'm trying to say right now. As a community, we need to reach that place.
Man, they had all these huge plans in the latest spaces, if I remember right.
Oh yeah, big merch.
We had them on OTC Stock Talk.
Yeah,
and did a whole Q&A with the company. The CEO, who has not left, it looks like, on OTC Markets, Corinda, she was trying to exit with all her might. And the other person that I had in there doing the questioning, I forget his name at the moment, was taken over, and they had tons of plans. Yeah,
they did. Yeah, it was sounding that as they were really serious, but nothing ever, I guess, materialized.
Sometimes some tigers, they can spray on different stripes. They can make them a crosshatch pattern, hashtag pattern. But at the end, when the rain falls, these tigers,
Yeah,
they're stripes. They got one set of stripes, man.
for sure. And
Yeah.
it's just another example because he had a nice move after that spaces because there was big momentum. I mean, it went to 15, and it just goes to show you again and again and again that you have to fade these moves in 95% of all cases. The reason why it moves, it all sounds great, but you have to fade them. You have to sell slowly into the up moves because usually it's not coming together and it's not as good as it sounds.
And I think that the problem is that people and they're not wrong to do this. Like, but people believe that these things are actually happening, and you look at like what Sonny's working on, like the business that they're doing, they're actually doing that. You know what I mean? But with a lot of these companies, like I feel like when it comes to if they want to be regulating, they should say, you know what? Last year you said you were going to do this. I want to see some flipping emails, or I would like because this has got to be the 10th time in a row for TONR,
Yeah.
where and so many others like Phil and all these different ones that have generated.
You love Phil.
Oh, Phil, boy, I'll tell you what, Phil. Like when it comes to the bag trophy case, that's number one. Okay, but there are others in the case, and but I feel like if they were ever to actually. And then people believe them because they say, well, it's on the stock market. They've PR'd this to me. They're here saying it to me. But there's no accountability after the fact. Like if they said, hey, the deal fell through and okay, but they should still have to provide evidence of actually trying to do the deal at some point. And there's obviously no burden to do so.
Yeah. I mean, and just to clarify, stuff that Sunny is bringing up, that's totally different to what we are talking about here.
Yeah,
TONR
well, that's what I was
because,
saying. Like he's doing
yeah,
stuff where
exactly.
they're actually doing stuff.
They are based on assets and on a real business and everything, and you can invest in them. But that's a small fraction of the OTC. But stuff like all this, the majority isn't like this, and it's important that people understand that. If you invest, go to stuff like Sunny does, but the other stuff you have to take your profits.
You do. And I mean, until such time as like, and I mean, the stock market is all smoke and mirrors. I understand that, but it would be really nice to know that at some point someone's going to come knocking on the door of one of these, and not 5 years later after they've bankrupted everyone. Like soon to say like, okay, you say you're doing this deal. Could I see the meeting you had? Do you have that in your Outlook or, because this just keeps happening.
Yeah, that's true.
Extremely frustrating. And the amount of people who might have been new to the game, they here's Cam, so we'll get him in. But the amount of people that might have been new to the game and this TONR was their first kick at the can, they'll never be back. And so it's extremely irritating. Okay.
So I just went and looked, and yeah, from the day we did a space with them on January 18th, it's been that long, I can't believe it. The stock was at 0004 and went as high as 001.
15.
It had a nice run over a few days.
It went to 15.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. For a brief second. I mean,
yeah, it was nice run. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good trade.
Drop.
I mean, it was a trade, and I know it's just hard for people to. And I wasn't here when you guys did that interview, but it made a good move after that. It's just hard for people to understand with a lot of these that, it's probably not going to happen. And I feel like if you're going to regulate something, maybe part of that regulation is to say, okay, provide us evidence of it happening, and soon, not 5 years later. That's what I'm talking
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a space with RENI, and the guy came on and talked about all these pipe dreams and what he was going to do. And I had a follow-up space with him like a month and a half, 2 months later, and he had accomplished a lot of it already. I mean, so you do have some bright shining moments here where people say something and go and do it. I believe that VINZF is going to do what they say they're going to do. They already have a game plan. They already have it in place, and they're going after it. But then, you can look back and see like TONR. There's no actionable news supporting what they said when they were on the space. I don't know.
Did Cam go again there?
So I tried to connect him, and he has some problems, I think, because now he disappeared.
Okay.
Well, I know something he may want to talk about.
I have a feeling he
because
was going to talk
been
about it, so why don't you go ahead?
a long time investor and somebody I've grown to know very. He's a U.S. Air Force guy, and he has this race car, and he goes to race the dirt tracks with a big fin on the back. And on the side of his car, he doesn't just know what he owns, but he believes in it, and he's got the logo for Golden Matrix Group on the side of his race car. So every time he goes around the track, thousands of people see Golden Matrix Group. But that stock has been, I don't know, ever since they finalized the acquisition, has been starting to find some life. I think Shido's probably happy about that. I mean, it's up to over $4 a share right now. More volumes coming in on a regular basis. I think it's gonna continue to move. It's about damn time, because there's people that have been waiting for that for quite a while.
Yeah, doubled now from the recent lows. Almost doubled.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's not done yet. Hold on. I mean, it's still undervalued dramatically at this present moment, and just from a fundamental standpoint, not from any type of hype or anything. It's based on the numbers that the two companies together represent in their financials, and they're going to see that. Well, I think that once the first fully audited financial hits on the two combined companies being in the same quarter, it's going to be a huge difference.
Yeah.
What was the other stock he was talking about the other day? He was also somebody that mentioned RONN. What happened to that?
RONN Motors, they just motored away with all the price. They just diluted all over it. Absolutely smothered it. And now it's back in.
I'm glad he didn't get in that.
There he is.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, there it goes. I was gonna mention that, but I was actually gonna piggyback on your the OTC having really some slimeball CEOs that don't follow through on what they're doing. Back in like 2020, I invested in Strikeforce. Have you guys ever heard of that? They got that Safe Beach app and
sure.
going through. And I ended up making a little bit of money on it, but this guy Mark K is like the scum of the earth. I swear. Like he's still on my watch list just so I can watch him post these generic PRs about how much they're going to make next year, and then the revenues of the entire company are like a third of paychecks. It's insane. I don't know if he's invested in it. I'm sorry. It's called Zerify now, but this guy puts out just PR after PR saying he's with these. There was speculation that they were going to be integrating with John Deere for all of their tractors and things like that. And nothing ever happens with that company. Like they don't ever actually sell the product or make it. It's just, it baffles me.
Well, I mean,
crazy.
It's a story as old as time, I'm afraid. But it's very frustrating, absolutely, for sure. Any tickers on your mind?
I was actually going to bring up the BYRG, but I heard Alex talking about it when I first logged in, so I'm out.
Oh well, then we got it covered already. That's great. That's fantastic.
Thanks for coming up, Cam.
Oh, for sure, man.
VI. You gonna come up and talk about SMR or what? I sent you an invite. I've been following that and Bed Bath and Beyond's stock ever since you told me about it. I mean, not that people here know they went bankrupt and all kinds of crap happened, but they don't know that the profit. I used to watch this show. He's a small business guru, and he'll come and like restructure a company and kick people in their pants and let them know you're taking too much money. You're not investing in your company enough. Why don't you go the next year without taking any money and do a incentive based stock structure so that when you hit certain marks you get paid out. And he's taken over Beyond, or what was Bed Bath and Beyond, and it's a really interesting story. I've been listening to some of his interviews and stuff like that over the last few weeks, and I don't know. Maybe the eye will come up and say something about it. I sent you an invite, man. Let's see if you accept. Because I'm curious about your take. And maybe you won't. Vision Reels. Come on and talk about SMR, man. Or talk about Beyond. Okay, who's
Here's
up
the
next?
I.
Hello?
Oh, he's here.
Hello, I.
Hey,
Am I here?
You could be.
you're here, man.
Yeah, so I'm like you're saying, Marcus Melonius. The reason why I invested with BYON is because of him. I think you're really as good as your CEO, and he's not the CEO. He appointed two different CEOs that are covering two divisions of the company, and he's been throwing out some really big numbers, and we're gonna get quarter one's gonna hit. I think the numbers are coming out March 6th, but he's talking about like 2 billion. And the guy's been throwing out some really big numbers, but this is just the beginning. And he said that the thing that's really impressive about the company is that the compensation, or like the bonuses, are predicated upon, this is for the executives, is predicated upon the stock price. Also, he's not getting a salary. He's invested in the stock. And so basically the way he gets paid and everybody gets paid is due to the stock price. And that's pretty unique. So I think he's put about $1 million. I think he's invested about $1 million in the stock price, and it's all around like the mid-teens, like 16, 17, 18, 20. And he was talking about buying some more stock. And so he said that he wants to make $50 million on the stock, So it's really interesting. I went in really heavy, and I'm going to go for long-term capital gains, So I don't know. That's kind of, I mean, it's a retail. It's basically he bought Bed Bath and Beyond, and he, basically he just took Bed Bath and Beyond. He bought they had a couple more acquisitions, Backyard, Zoo Lilies. I think Zoo Lilies did like.
Hold up. On the Zulily thing, they spent under $5 million to acquire a company that did over, what was it, 600 million in revenue?
I think it's 900 million.
I didn't want to be wrong. Yes,
Yeah.
900 million in revenue last year, and they were able to buy it for like 4 point something. I can't believe it, but that's the type of swing this guy has. He's like swinging for the fences.
Yeah, and if you look at, he has big time. If you look at what he's targeting for himself, I mean, the stock's going to be over $100. I mean, it's like right now, it's like what, I think it's down to like 21. It was at 35, and actually, Marcus is talking about buying more stock in the company. He just wants to be approved for it. But when you have the executives and the principal executive getting paid by the stock price, you know they're going to get that stock up. It's not going to, it's, you can kind of trust it. So I don't know. I like it. I like the CEO. I like the management. I like what they're doing. They're just going to build that up, but also there's another one too that I like is SMR. And I'm here in the Philippines, and I came across some news last November. The stock was at 2. Now it's about 550. But SMR is the company that is going to bring or talking to the Philippines government about nuclear energy in the Philippines. And I talked to the CEO, or I talked to investor relations, and they said that probably might, they're in talks right now. I asked them why they haven't sent any news about it. He says because it's not a deal yet. But if that happens, it'll be later on in the future. But that's another like micro cap to look at is SMR. But anyways, BYON.
Yeah, I actually talked to the company about coming on our show, and they said not at the present moment.
Oh man, that might be really interesting. But yeah, I think that if they can come on the show, that'd be fantastic. Can you get Marcus Lemonis on the show?
After listening to the interview I did today, if I message him, there's a really good chance he'll respond on X. So I'm gonna reach out to him.
That'd be great.
I don't know if I have the audience numbers that would.
I don't know if I think he would
But
do
it
it.
would blow up the space.
Yeah, it would blow up his space. But the thing about it is, man, just go for it. See if he'll come on. He's been doing interviews, and I think part of it is he wants to get the stock price up because he needs that stock price up. He's not taking a salary from the company. He's the principal CEO, not taking a salary from the company, and the only way he gets paid is if the stock goes up. So I think he'll come on the space. I mean, it might be worth it for him to hit every market group in the investor category.
For sure. Well, thank you very much. We'll see how it goes. Alex, did you have an additional point?
Yeah, I was just going to add on that Marcus Lemonis, man, he's a brilliant guy. I have been watching him since I was very young. I've watched every single season of Profit,
I love the
which I
way he
think he
does it,
had like
don't
6 or
you?
7 seasons, and then he moved on to some other shows. A lot of what
Yep.
he does with businesses is exactly what I've taken and tried to integrate into the OTC, because he specializes in coming into fragmented businesses, usually fragmented startups, which is very similar to how I feel when I come into a lot of these companies in the OTC, because they're all a mess. They're all fragmented, and it's like kind of like solving a puzzle, and at the same time also making sure everybody is happy and has motivation to succeed and do things right. He's he's an inspiration. I'm a huge holder of BYON. I was buying it right when I found out Marcus Lemonis was involved. I'm a huge investor in Camping World. That's his other company. They pay dividends and stuff.
Yep.
So he's a genius, man, and he's somebody to definitely listen to. He has a massive following. It would be something if you got him on here, but yeah, definitely check out Marcus Lemonis. I've learned a tremendous amount from that guy.
he does not take any BS. He is so straight to the point and about business that if his bullshit meter starts going off at all, he's going to be hot. Like, he doesn't mess around like that. He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, guys, that's all I was going to say. Yeah, he's definitely, if you've never seen The Prophet, check it out. You know, that's probably his main show from back in the day that I used to watch anyways. Really gives you a good
He
idea.
says he's about to go back into production for another TV show here in a few months. So I think it's more of The Prophet, but, we'll see.
All right. Chairman, welcome. Good to see you. Pikachu, nice to see you as well. Max Power, we got everybody.
We got all the stuff.
Yeah, there was another round. There was another space going on that was conflicting with ours. Nick Coriano started a space, didn't realize it was at the same time we normally do ours, so that's why we're a little bit down on the numbers at the moment. But I have no doubt that we're going to pick up the number of listens here after this is all done.
For sure. Well, should we give it one or two more questions, if anyone has any?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll see if we'll get one more, and then we'll be on our way. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people doing some different things. Some of them are doing these tokens and stuff, but for me, I'd sure love to see that OTC start hammering out the regular gains again, because that's
that would be good.
Yeah, as fun as it gets.
Today I found it really quiet, didn't you?
Yeah, it was eerily quiet.
Brutally. I mean, even stuff like Opti and stuff like that. I mean, I saw Opti like having like 5 trades in an hour. Can you imagine this? I mean,
yeah,
such a billion floater. I mean, and such an on vogue stock, and there was literally half an hour no trade.
Yeah, no, it's
That's
unbelievable.
Wild. Yeah, that's wild.
It's we're seeing a lot of that, and a couple times I thought my tools were out, and which because I have to use iHub tools, as you know, being up here, and so that happens all the time, and I'm on like a first name basis with the guy Russ at customer service, and I was like, Russ, how are you today? And he said, oh, everything seems to be working fine, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, oh, really quiet. Really.
Yeah. Russ is a great guy, though. I'll tell you that. Nice website. You know Russ. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's because you live in the basement, you know?
I do. I live for this. I live for this, man.
I live in the basement as well. So I have my office in the basement as well. So
it's great. I just am down here.
Yeah.
Reception sucks down in the basement, though. I mean, that's why I had to move my office somewhere out of the house.
Not bad here, but I'm smack dab in the middle of the city, so maybe it's not as bad. Because but then I get like jackhammering sounds and stuff that come through from the road construction and stuff like that. So I don't like that as much. But I think I'm just going to move down here permanently. I don't, what am I doing upstairs really at this point? You know?
Yeah. I mean, you have like 70-hour days now with the seat.
I know. They're the longest days I've ever had in my life. Man, oh man. But that's been a lot of fun, and hopefully that'll continue. But
Mr. Hobbs is in here.
Mr. Hobbs, what's on your mind, bro?
GGSM, I guess.
He's still up. Maybe he's got something new. How's that doing, that GGSM? I didn't check it today.
Been stable, but
same.
Stagnant.
Yeah.
Lately.
I mean, that's a pretty common theme with a lot of this right now, unless it's Fisker.
Yeah,
Yeah. And that PTCO has been beautiful from yesterday.
nice.
Yeah, really good.
Man, I've talked about this a few times, but TTNN is. I just spoke with the CEO last night while I was on vacation. Actually, yeah, last night when I was on vacation. Um, it's coming to a place where he's really only got a few weeks left of auditing before he's QB compliant, and then he's going to be addressing some of the stock structure. It's got a really tight float. And look at the damn chart. You don't see huge sales days. There's not a overhang of stock. There's no dilution. There's no debt. There's nobody in there trying to tank the stock. It's really difficult to purchase it ultimately. And I really think that if people take time to do some due diligence on that company, they're going to see some big moves in the near future. And I talked to him about coming on the show, and he's waiting until he's done with the audits, because at that point he'll be able to talk about what they've accomplished. And this is his first time going through an audit, so it's really grueling, painstaking, the back and forth with the auditors and all the line items and the XBRL tagging. But once it's set up, I really think this company is going to make some huge hurdles. Keep it on your
For
radar.
sure. Chairman, welcome up. How's it going? What's on your mind?
Kiko, what's good? What's good, brother?
Hello.
Well, JRC, thanks for bringing me up. Kiko, I just wanted to ask
Yeah.
you a question. Were you watching WDRP at all today?
Wand reports? Yeah, I've been in it since what was it that day? That first day when you guys kind of pointed it out. I've been enjoying it so far.
Okay.
I was so excited. I thought we were finally going to leave Dub 5 behind.
Yes.
And it got
So I
rejected.
I
But
actually had a question regarding that. So I don't know if you saw what was happening in between, but ASCM, GTSM, like lots of fuckery going on there. I mean, towards the end, we even saw a 15 million share bid pop up from ASCM, right? So that makes me wonder what's really going on. And you can only hypothesize if um few amount of events there, right? It's either they're heavily short on the stock or either one of those scenarios, right? Where like, I mean, why are they bidding 15 million shares up here at DUB 45 and constantly
What's the ticker?
WDRP? So I'm just trying to figure out like why are they trying to suppress the price so much? Like what's going on there?
it's hard to. And they were
Yeah,
they were
copy of
bid
events,
they were
huh?
bidding 15 million or asking 15 million.
They were bidding 15 million at one point at 0044.
Well, you see the way that the bid support seems to pop up on that. I mean, which by the way is fine by me. I mean, but the way the bid support seems to pop up on that, it seems like someone behind the scenes has finally dug into their own pocket to run it. Because
Hmm.
the reality of the situation in the OTC right now is that nobody's coming up with bids like that. Like when you saw like today at one point there were like four bids in a row, milli plus at 45.
Yep.
I mean, you don't get that naturally now.
Hmm.
And so like to me, I understand all that action to be that they've uh, put the budget forward to have someone make a market on it.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I mean that's how it has to go sometimes, right? Like you have a thing, and then if you just put it out there for retail to discover, especially in the circumstance we're in now, the probability of that happening is very low. So you've got to drum up some business in terms of uh, blowing on the what would you say, the duck call, getting those bids up and pushing it up and keeping it above support lines, which they've done like scientifically. You know what I mean? So my guess is that someone behind the scenes finally put some money up to start moving it, and there's no telling, when that ends. But I'm not necessarily angry to see it at all. I wish it stayed above Dub 5, but I mean, it's still been so good. I mean, I can't really complain.
I did too. I mean, honestly, like when I saw it go above top 50, I'm like, okay, finally we're breaking above, right? But then you have you have the same people putting up their asks like GTSM 1 million, 1 million. They kept on refilling it, and then like there's no dilution. There's nothing. There's none of that going on. So like it's either one big holder that is trying to get out, which I don't know what's going on, but it's just that like it's been difficult for it to break above the dub 50 level, which I'm hoping for happens tomorrow finally. But yeah, let's see.
Yeah, I mean, because the probability is that the holder that's trying to get out is also the person bidding. You know what I mean? Like that's that's the deal, right? And and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's just the way this goes. And and sometimes they get blown away, and it gets a life of their own, and they go, shit. I wish that I didn't unload it all at Dub 5. You know what I mean? And it happens all the time. So, um, but usually when you're seeing the massive bid that that nobody is putting up,
15 million
yeah,
shares on the
exactly.
bid,
Yeah,
exactly.
and then big size on the ask.
Yeah,
That the bidder is also the asker, but
the bidder.
yeah. So that's the way I always look
Yeah.
at it.
No, I traded the stock. When was this? I think I don't know. I think 2 years ago. I'm not sure when it ran to dub 80s, dub 83s. And it was a lot smoother ride compared to this time. But this time, like I'm glad it's holding up. Like it's been holding up pretty well. Like making a move 400% up and then holding up there for days. Like it's been pretty good so far. So let's
It's
see
it's been
let's see how
okay.
high they take it.
Very good.
Yeah, in this current environment we're in, I really can't complain. I mean, if, please do what you got to do, bro. Get those bids up. Whatever you're doing, do it.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
agree. I agree.
I was watching this today, Chairman,
Yeah.
and right when it was breaking out above 50, I mean that guy with the 5.8 million ask, I mean,
Yeah.
was the reason it went down. And first we all thought that it's just a loading wall or somebody,
Hmm.
but we saw that he came down. He sold for 45, so he was
Yeah.
actually selling. That's the only reason I think that it didn't move further. That 6 million guy. I mean, I don't know why these guys don't break up their asks. I mean, it's not that difficult to do.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, the 6 million Waller is not really someone I'm particularly concerned about. I'm more concerned about, this this person who has these unlimited amount of shares who keeps selling through GTSM. I mean, that's the person that I'm particularly
mhm.
concerned about.
Yeah,
And how do you even know how many shares they got, right?
You
How many
yeah.
never,
shares?
you
No,
never.
So,
you cannot know. And when a stock runs like this within a few days, a 5 bagger, I mean,
mhm.
you got to. It's my opinion. You got to expect games, and you got to expect AC, ASCM chiming in, and we know they do short stocks in the short term, and they can get squeezed. I mean, there is games going on if you have 400% in a stock after in a few days, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and there
Yeah.
was like
Yeah.
no dilution since the start of that move, and whoever is behind this move maybe needed to convert some, but the test will be as to whether or not they can continue to be a class act after today, I suppose.
Absolutely. I mean, so far they've been super nice. I mean, this kind of reminds me of the stall run, right? I don't know if you guys were part of that one, but
That was
that one,
brilliant. That was
that
such a
was
smart one.
that
Yeah,
was so well done. Like I have probably in the last 2 years not seen a stock run that well, and that went almost to 2 cents, right? Consolidated right where WDRP is consolidating right now. Like I think it consolidated for almost a week and a half, and then it just blew up to a penny after that. So. And that was, I mean, the consolidation there was a lot of churn, right? I think it was almost 100 million or more shares that were churned at that level. So in that sense, WDRP has been a lot nicer. I mean, we have almost churned more than a third of the float here at WDRP as well. So let's see where this goes.
Well, so
yeah.
far so good. It's been really impressive and a real breath of fresh air. I'll tell you that.
I agree.
Yeah.
What else is good, man? What's going on? What do you
I
guys
don't
talk
know.
about?
We got working on a few things. The PTCO's been nice over the last couple days. It's been great. The Fisker move, and then obviously, I did dabble in a bit of meme coin stuff, which has been excellent.
Yeah,
Uh,
meme coins have been good too.
yeah, they've been good. And I saw that article yesterday come out from Bloomberg saying that this is the first time the first cycle that hedge funds are buying meme coins now, which is
Venture, yeah, VC firms.
crazy.
So 100%. So I was actually, so I'm pretty like I'd like to think at least that I'm well connected in that space. It's because so my cousin, he has his own project. Like he's one of the, he is well connected to the founder of Solana as well. So he messaged me yesterday and he was like, there's VCs buying meme coins now. So I was like, what the hell's going on? Like there's no inherent value to these. I mean, I just feel like, like we're in a market where, you know y- people are just going where there's the loudest noise. So like I guess people are just following the money, like wherever the big guys are going. I mean, I guess that's what's going
Well,
on. And
I mean, and forgive me, but I mean, I think what happened, like you look at how retail traders got pissed on by regulators after GameStop.
yeah,
You look at the way they were slapped in the face with regulations in the OTC, and and a lot of these young people, they feel that they've been priced out of the stock market, they've been priced out of the housing market, they're priced out of everything, and so they just made their own damn stock market, and it's international, it's across borders, and nobody can regulate it now. I mean, they regulated themselves
yeah.
in to the point where they can no longer regulate because they were so heavy-handed with it.
Yep. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, well, I've been trading meme coins as well myself. Like, and it's good. Like, I'll tell you that it's really good.
It's a nice outlet. I
Yeah,
mean, I sure love that OTC and absolutely focused on it, but it's been a nice outlet, for
yes,
sure.
sir.
Well, anyone else, or are we ready? What do you think, Josh?
I don't know. It sounds like we've gone through a lot of stuff already at this point, and if you want to call it, we'll call it.
Do you
What
want to try and bring up Peak Catch by like if he wants to come
Sure.
up?
Pikachu?
Yes, it's because he is like I love his analysis on level twos and stuff like that. So I want to pick his brain as well in terms of what he thinks was going on.
Pikachu, I sent you an invite. Don't be shy, man.
what about Mr. Hobbs? Didn't he want to speak?
Yeah, I'm
Sorry,
there.
He
I
can
Mr.
was
speak
Hobbs.
biding
anytime
my
he
time.
unmutes.
Sorry about that.
Ah, there
No
he
worries.
is.
How you guys doing today?
Hey, man.
Good,
Great, man.
good.
How you doing?
Good, good. There's one that's taken off here. NASAV, NSAV. They're supposed to be having. I don't know much about it. All I know is I got dividend shares from 2017, and they actually might be worth something again since 21 because they went up to like what hit 10 cents, and I got 2 million shares, so I would have had 200 grand had I been able to sell them. But the thing is about that too, I still have to transfer them over from however the restriction is on it still. And I only have, from what I understand, is you get 2 months to do it from the date you start it. So the date you sign the paper and then mail it to the company, to your brokerage. But they take about a month to do everything. And then from there, um, you have to, like, you already put the amount that you want to sell, and then it comes back to you, and then you have another month or so. So you get like 60 days in total to sell the stock that you want to release. So you have to do it when it's going up, and you have to think that it's going to be like that for about a month or two. So it's kind of a hard one to make a decision on, right? So got to make sure that company is going to the moon or something first and going to
Yeah.
stay there. So that's an interesting one. But apparently they're going up to like 100 million revenues on the next with the crypto stuff they just released recently. I don't know. You guys have to do your own research on that one. I just saw it pop up. I was like, whoa, finally, this thing's starting to move again. But I did a DD video on GGSM, and I'm doing another one here soon as well. So you guys should check that out and see what it's about. I'm going to be editing it as well here. It took a while to do, and it's got a lot of facts about the company and the partners and everything. And the next one I'm going to do is actually going to be divulging about where the revenues come from directly from the CEOs companies that are connected to it, such as storage and boat rentals and what else they got? They got so much. The commodity trading and the cargo ship and the island, the private island that he's taking investments into, that I believe is a project has already started. They own 2 islands now, so it's really quite an interesting story with that one. But I believe the one thing I wanted to bring up about that one, because you guys know about my research and everything already, and I should say there's one other thing that I found out recently about that. And the attorney letter came out yesterday after the market closed. So with that being said, I expect an update soon because it's way overdue since we got a news release with that company. They also created a holding company December the 29th called Gold Merger Sub in Oklahoma. So they will have U.S. operations. This was announced only in the subsequent events at the section of the bottom of Q3, though. In the annual filing, it's not on there. However, there were lots of mistakes on the annual, and they rushed it out the door as far as I'm concerned because they just wanted not to be late. So I expect the annual amended to be coming out soon, as well as they all are also due with the first quarter coming up in May here, the 15th or so. So just wanted to share that with you guys as well there. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes with that one there. And like I said, the next one's going to divulge what the company does and some of the projects that they're doing personally and the completed homes and things that they build. These things are I would dream to live in one of these things. I could have afforded it before I got scammed in the crypto scam a couple of years ago, but at least I paid off my house and stuff like that first. And anyway, that's why I stay away from crypto. I don't even know how to buy into Solana. I see all these meme coins. I see all these meme coins going like crazy, and someone's popping this one up and this other thing, and I see this Hobbs coin. And I'm like, well, if I should buy one, if I'm going to buy a coin, it'll be that one. But yeah, no, I don't know much about them. I see them going crazy at times with what's going on, and I'd like to know how to set up a Solana account or wherever you go for it, but I honestly don't know where to do that. I got Bitcoin from when it was like 34 grand or whatever, but
I'll put a YouTube this young guy made. It's a beginner's guide to getting set up, and this young guy made it, and I felt like it helped me show people how to get set up, and so it's pretty good. I'll put it in the replies here, and then you can check it out because it's actually, once you get the process down, it's quite straightforward.
and
It's like transacting on anything else. So I just posted it in the
there's some
reply.
like Solana is its own. Is it a coin like Bitcoin you buy and then you got to buy it through Solana coin to buy this other meme things or what?
That's right. So Solana would be the currency in which you trade the meme coins, and then if you make a gain, you can convert the Solana into set it to your Coinbase and turn it into
You
cash.
can buy Solana at Coinbase then or what?
Yes, you can. Yeah.
So all this I can do on Coinbase or no? Or I have to
No.
go to another
So
site to do the other
Not
thing?
all.
you buy the Solana on Coinbase, then you can trade the memes with the Coinbase wallet or get a Phantom wallet. But the video I just put in the replies here will show you how to do it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
no problem.
But yeah, I see all these stupid things, these stupid coins going up 600%, and there's nothing in them. I don't understand it. It's a picture of a horse backing up and stepping on a mule or something. Like, I honestly don't understand how these things move on a cartoon picture of a head of a donkey or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's what it is.
Yeah.
But it's just like, whoa, like.
Yeah, and there are some that have some utility, and working for charities and stuff, which is cool. But it seems to be the better the joke and the better the marketing program is, the better they do.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so I was watching WDRP too. I got some of that one as well. Now, the thing about that is when you look at the company's tweets, they say they don't want to dilute much on it to help with that. So is it possible GTSM is the company, or which one was it? ACSM, sorry, that was on there? Could it be the company just putting out a few here to get some extra cash too? Any thoughts on that one? Because
On which stock you're talking about?
WDRP now.
I mean,
I was
ASC.
watching it as well, but they said that they. I hear on the videos it wasn't diluting, but I read the tweets. It says they don't want to dilute much, so maybe they're popping out a couple million here and there. We'll find
Yeah.
out with the update here coming up, right? If there's an update soon. So
Yeah. So you know
just
what?
a
Like
thought.
that was a bit surprising to me as well, because normally I wouldn't really see a company dilute through GTSM, which has been the main culprit, like on the ask on this stock. But like obviously Kiko or Shido, they might know better.
Okay, well, I have other things too because I've been doing this stuff for over 15 years, right? So I know what to look for in the filings too. So are there any notes that were due or anything like that? Like I haven't looked deep into it. I FOMO'd in with you guys because I thought, you know what, you guys usually do pretty good, and I figured, okay, well, this what was it called, 2.0? What's your thing called there? Your room?
Think tank.
Think tank. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you guys do pretty good in there. I figured. So you know what? I'm going to jump in with you guys. But I was looking for a pullback. I didn't really get one. It's got one, well, kind of, but not really. Not to where I wanted it to pull back to when I first saw it.
Yeah,
But
that's been the surprising thing, right? Like no matter how much selling there is, I mean the stock somehow finds a way to hold itself up. So that's been the, I would say, silver lining on this stock. But I mean
it looked like it was coming down there for a bit today when the guy put up that 6 million shares, and then you watch it come to about 44,
yeah,
and
and it just
he
got
came
swiped.
down to 45, and then someone snarfled all those shares up within
Yeah,
5 minutes. I was like, holy shit, look at
I
that.
know. Yes. So that's the, I
So
mean the
there's a
whole
lot of
initial
interest.
100%. So like our initial due diligence, like we saw, they haven't diluted for I think a little over 3 or 4 years.
That's
So
incorrect. There was 10 million shares in between there.
10 million. Okay, all right,
Yeah.
sounds good.
If
Yeah,
you look at
that's
the
fine.
actual the numbers between them and go to the filings, each individual filing, or they have what's the other one called on here? On 1 second here. I'm sure you guys know what to do. Where they give you the updates on everything, but now it's 3 days late all the time. It's in Telegram. Hold on, I'm gonna look here right now. I have so many of these things. I just gotta find it here. It's an update of some sort. Where is that? Oh no, it's the alerts, not just the stock groups. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so it's OTC updates, right? You type in the ticker there, you can see whatever anything's doing. So,
Okay. And then do you know how many shares have been diluted in the last 3-4 years?
um, let me just check it out right now. Have anything here on this? 52 updates. So hold on. There's one there. Outstanding shares. The last one was what the heck? April 15th. I guess they updated it from the 18th, from January the 18th to March, April the 12th. There was 10 million shares that came on to the outstanding that were unrestricted before. Or no, they are unrestricted, so they weren't like they're new shares basically, and they went directly to the DTC. So that could be where part of it's coming from. So let's say January, but if it was, you would think, what was the price between there and then? they probably wouldn't have that many shares left to sell at that point, wherever they
Yeah.
went,
Yeah, I mean, if it's 10 million,
right?
I mean, it should have been gone
Yeah,
by.
it's not much, but
Yeah,
I just
should
want
have
to
been
keep it
gone.
factual. That's all, right?
Yeah,
So,
100%.
Yeah.
um,
If
but
it
yeah,
is
I
10
think
million, should have been
between,
gone by.
I don't know if there's anything else between after that, but that's just the one that popped up on this year. So, but if you
Gotcha.
go back and look at the difference between the two from the years, I think the difference is 10 million between all the years. So let me just double check that while I'm here. Just running computer to computer here, room to room. So okay, this is on. This is my work computer, so it's a lot faster than my other one there. Okay. Okay, so we got. What I like to do is I just go back with the disclosures and go back as far as I can look, basically. Okay, so we'll go back to the annual report for 2019-2020. So let's see here. It's 744. So it has went down since then, I think. So, but recently they've diluted. I guess that makes sense. Hold on. What is the? Yeah, it's 650 right now, and it was 744 2018 2019. So it did go down, but just recently it went up. So, and what was it now? It's 419. So that was so much in here. But yeah, I think I'm going to check out those coin things here, and if I can't, I don't know, for Bitcoin. Okay, hold on. I got a question about Bitcoin. The Bitcoin halving. Does that mean you got half of the Bitcoin left in your account? Did they take half of it,
No.
or
No.
does it mean you're mining half of what it was before, a lot slower, half as fast type
Yeah, they
thing?
get half the returns
Oh, okay,
for
but
their
that
mining
company today
effort.
then said they weren't missing anything on their returns.
Well, they also said that they are overclocking all of their devices or their mining rigs.
They're
Oh,
putting
okay.
in double the effort.
So
Yeah.
yeah, they're doubling the effort, and they were only at this present second only seeing a slight um, detraction from what they were making before. So it's like, I don't know. There's ways around it. I mean, I guess, and we're gonna find out. But if a lot of people drop off and a lot of those mining systems go down because people just aren't making money with them, they're paying more than they're getting back, then you'll see some of the people that have played it smart make a lot more money.
It makes sense for sure. They're the ones who are actually getting the coins out of it for the cheaper price and can actually make the profit on it. So yeah, the outstanding shares, it's only been 10 million since looks like January. So that's not so bad, being that it was updated on the 19th as well. So unless we get another update in a week and we see there's nearly 20 million shares on there, then we would know what happened then. But I don't expect to see that, but I wouldn't be surprised in the OTC either. So you never know. However, with that being said, these guys said they don't want to dilute much. So I don't see it would be that much. However, being that when they were talking about doing these deals too, the price was a lot lower. So being that if they only had to sell 10 million shares, they would have had to sell 50 million 5 days ago or whatever it would be if they were going to do it again. You know what I mean? Just because the possibility, well, they're dealing mostly with the banks though, so we're not going to get much dilution to any. I'm just wondering where those GTSM came from. So I'm trying to chime in here with my thoughts about what I know about the market and such. So,
I mean, like
Well, we
Cheeto
appreciate you
said,
chiming in, man.
like
It's
Like
important.
Cheeto said, right? Like, I mean, the stock is up 400%, so there is going to be profit takers, right? So, I
Yeah,
mean,
well, definitely there's
yeah.
that too,
So
right?
GTSM
Especially
is not the only one with the ask. I mean, you saw multiple market makers, CSTI, Knight, and all these other market makers, right? I mean, it's good. It's good that it's consolidating at these levels, and the longer it consolidates here, the more confident the people will be, holding it for a longer term swing. And another week, another 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It really depends, right? What the company puts out. They do have catalysts coming up, right? They have a clean energy deal going through. They have another energy deal going through as well. I mean, they said 100 million in revenue, so I don't know how much of that they're really going to be able to capture, but
that's
there's
what I
there
was
is bullish
wondering.
events going on, right?
Yeah, I was wondering about that too. Now, is it and how much it's going to be? If it's going to be an actual acquisition, or is it going to be just a deal with these companies? It's going to be interesting to see how they structured and how they work this out. So,
Yeah, yeah,
but
absolutely.
they haven't talked in a long time, so you got to they're coming out. They're not like, okay, well, this is the year we're going to dilute and screw the shareholders. You know what I mean? So they've been patient about what they've been doing. So now's the time to act on the stuff that they're doing. And if they need a little money, well, then that's so be it. But at the same time, I have not looked into any of the convertible debts. So I don't know if you guys have or whether they even have any, to be honest. So that's something that always has to be looked at, in my opinion, because and the rates that they convert at, right? So that's like look at Fless, like prime example of 50% of the lowest price, right? So again, we don't know where it's at though. So has anybody in here right now done any research on if there's convertible debt with this company?
You
Anybody?
know,
Oh, okay.
one of the things that um, I found years ago was, I was very strongly focused on convertible debt, obviously, and concerned about it, which everyone should be. And there were a few opportunities that I passed on because I said, oh, this has convertible debt, therefore this isn't going to work for me. And a couple some of the things that I learned were that without convertible debt, there's no news, there's no pump to be had because there's no motive for a company or a note holder to do it, right? I mean, and so I don't necessarily mind seeing convertible debt. And the other point I guess I would make about it is that convertible debt is convertible, but the rate at which they convert is ultimately something that I could only measure on the chart. And if even if it is being converted, if it's not doing so at a rate that's going to ruin my account or make me red, then the best thing I can do is measure levels and ensure it stays above said levels, and not worry about it too much, because a lot of the completely illiquid things I've been stuck in over the years were because I was so pleased they didn't have convertible debt. And in retrospect, that convertible debt sometimes greases the wheels in terms of news and outreach and communications. So for me, I'm not particularly seeing it as, if there is some there, which I couldn't say, it's not really a chief concern for me. If it's maintaining levels, which it is, and there's outreach, which there is,
As
then
long as they're not converting at major
yeah,
rates, and it's
yeah,
okay.
it's
So
the rate of conversion really that I concern about, and so far it's been very classy. So I mean
exactly,
that's
that's
yeah,
I agree with that for sure.
but it's entirely possible there is some. But at the end of the day, if it's being done in a way that's respectful to retail, then they deserve to earn money from it. And so that's fine by me.
I agree. I mean, the way I think of is that if they do execute on their things that they've put out in the past, right, all their tweets, like they did say there's a letter of intent dropping this week, and there's going to be an official announcement next week. I mean, if they do drop this, then none of this is going to matter, right? It's definitely going to find a higher floor at that point, and like I mean. to me, like, I'm gonna let it do its thing, right? It's up 400%. Let it consolidate, and you see where it goes from there, right? It really depends on how active the company is moving forward, and if they're executing on their plans, which to me it seems like they are, because they have been super active. They had a tweet yesterday as well in which they did mention that like the initial terms have been agreed on, pertaining to the clean energy company. So I mean, if they are able to execute on their plans, then we should definitely see a higher floor created at some point, either this week or next week, right?
Well, news trumps all charts and all things like that, right? So, let's we'll see what happens for sure. I'd like to see this get up to new levels without a doubt. So let's just be patient with it and see where it goes from there. Well, that's my plan anyway for now. So, but what else is there?
Is there
Okay.
any other stocks that you guys are watching, like in the low dubs?
No, I
Cheeto?
not
Is
currently.
there
I
anything
mean,
else?
I think this has been a great chat, and I'm so happy everyone came. That this has been wonderful.
Yep, I really enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, guys. With that being said, I think that there's a few things that we're going to work on doing, getting more companies that have real meat on the bone to come in for Q&As. We want to find out the real due diligence behind stuff. So if you have any ideas of a company that you think should be on our space, please DM me, make a connection for me to one of the executives at the company, and we'll make that happen. We're here for you guys. So this is a community. We want you to have the best information you can get, real time, to be able to make an informed decision. And if you have any questions about stuff, please make sure you DM either OTC Method or me or Shido. I mean, we're always here to be a help in any way we're able to. Guys, thank you so much for joining OTC Stock Talk today with the Q&A with BINZF. We will be posting this to our YouTube channel as a replay and a video, and we'll thumbnail each one of the stocks that we talked about for the Q&A and separately for the open mic session. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and connect with us any way you can. We're always here to help out.
Absolutely. Thank you all for coming. See you again.
All right, guys. Have a great day.
See ya.
See you guys. See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.